Welcome to The American Dream, a show that started right here in San Diego, America's finest city, that now spans positive media all across the country, real stories in real neighborhoods. Hi, I'm your host, Craig Sewing, and here's The American Dream. Welcome to The American Dream, a real show, not a reality show. The real estate, the lifestyle, the culture.
It's not just about what you're living in, but the community you're going to live in.
High-rise, luxury living.
People are the vehicle. People are the connection. People are the expansion.
Helping folks just like you find your dream home.
It just never disappoints.
Real stories in real neighborhoods with real experts. The opportunity to achieve our biggest goals and aspirations.
It's the American Dream.
Welcome to another episode of Selling Charleston. I'm your host, Stephanie Davis. Today I'm going to show you a house hack for running a short-term rental here in Charleston. But first, I'm going to introduce you to the brains behind what has quickly become Charleston's style icon, the Pink Figgy. Meredith, it's so good to finally meet you. I know your schedule's very busy, so thank you for taking a few minutes with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for highlighting my car, Fiona the Pink Figgy.
I remember during COVID on my Instagram feed, this little pink car started popping up and your popularity has just soared.
Fiona is quite the gal around town. She's been seen everywhere, from the Charleston Place Hotel to the Gibbs Museum, and of course, the Mills House where I do most of my shoots. It's just so iconic, Charleston.
So for the viewers, tell us how you got started. What was the inspiration?
It actually stemmed from real estate. At the time, my husband and I had owned a handful of vacation rentals, and we kept renting to large groups of women who were always asking about photo backdrops, pastels, pinks. And so when it came time to transition out of that, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get a cute vintage car, paint it pink, and rent it as a photography prop. And that's exactly what I did.
And you're getting so much success. There's something about her, she's so timeless. So much of what everyone loves about the Charleston culture, I think in general, is just how centuries ago is still beautiful today, like she is.
Absolutely, and what's old is new again. And so you're finding that although, you know, it's a pink car, really has sort of universal appeal to many.
What is next for you guys?
Time will only tell, but we plan to continue to spread joy throughout the streets of Charleston. So if you see us around town, give us a wave.
I love it. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
It's fun having you. It's fun seeing you. You're a great piece of Charleston right now. Very hot.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So we're heading over now to show you that house hack I mentioned earlier. If you want to run a short-term rental in Charleston, and that is a really popular thing right now, I know, one of the biggest challenges is that there's a requirement for the owner to live on the property. So this property I'm going to show you handles that challenge really well. We're going to head there now. This house is set up so that the owner and the guest both retain their privacy during the guest stay. The key to separating the two living spaces is this door. On this side is the main living space, and then on the other side is the short-term rental. Back here, one bedroom was converted to an efficiency kitchen and given its own entrance from the backyard. With this full bathroom and bedroom, it's everything you need for a quick getaway. It's such a smart design, and behind me is the marsh to boot. Guys, thank you for spending this time with me today. It was so fun getting to meet one of Charleston's icons and then exploring this house hack. I'm Stephanie Davis, your host of Selling Charleston. I'll see you next time.
Welcome to the American Dream, Southern Charleston. I'm your host, Bradley O'Mara. Today we're going golfing to raise some money for the Oceanside football program. And stick around to the end, I'm gonna show you a luxury house. Let's go.
Hey Swish, thanks for talking with us today. Can you tell us what was the inspiration behind starting the Black and Blue fundraiser and the purpose of the Black and Blue Club?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here, Sandra. Thank you. You know, I've got to go all the way back to 2019. It was New Year's Eve day. Coach Chad Greer and I actually met down at Sullivan's Island at the co-op, and we discussed the opportunity to do more around the football program. And so that's really kind of where it started. And to see where it's come to now is just phenomenal. That vision over the last 4 years has really come to life. And really the way it started was there's so many great student athletes at Oceanside Collegiate Academy and the families that are there as well too. It's a special place where they choose to come to school, and we just want to take advantage of building a bigger community around the football program. But in doing so, it allowed us to form this nonprofit foundation, this Black and Blue Booster Club, to not only help the football program, but a lot of the families and the scholarship of the kids, and just doing great things around the community of Mount Pleasant and the greater Charleston area.
Here we are at the first annual golf outing for the Oceanside Collegiate Academy football team.
Yes.
Sponsored by the Black and Blue Club. How was it organizing this, getting it together? How many players do you have today?
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming. I'll even go back. We've done so many great events, but this one is really what we've been shooting for. We have things like youth clinics. We have an annual ladies clinic. We had Midnight Madness. We actually have a beach kickoff party later tonight, but this one is the one that we've really wanted to do. And really the inspiration around it was our new head football coach last year, Chad Wilkes, had said he loves the golf. And I think one of the funny parts about all this is that he thought when he got the job at Oceanside that he was going to be playing a lot of golf. He's been coaching a lot of football and winning a lot of games instead. So he's going to be playing out with some of the other coaches today as well, along with our principal Christina Brown and our athletic director Mark Meyer. So we're really excited to have them out here today. I think we've got 27 foursomes. Have a couple of our players that are brave enough to come swing the sticks out here on this tough Harbor Club links. So it's going to be a great day.
So not a bad showing for the first year.
Not a bad showing at all. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sandra.
Hey, appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
I think we all can agree that views and pools define luxury real estate. Wait till you see this one. Come on.
Welcome to 24 Fairway Village in Waldoons on the lovely Isle of Palms. This home has an inverted floor plan with a cathedral ceiling inside and outside living space for entertaining and a wonderful pool.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Bradley O'Mara. See you next time on American Dream, Southern Charleston.
Today, I get to show you one of the true memory makers here in Charleston. We're gonna see a lot of the marine life at the South Carolina Aquarium. There are so many exhibits and surprises inside the show. I can't wait to get in there. The aquarium has so much to offer, but we're gonna start off over at the Sea Turtle Recovery. We're gonna meet with Megan. She's the expert here and she's gonna tell us all about it. Megan, thanks so much for having us today. I'm excited to see everything you've got to show us.
Thanks for joining us today. There's a lot of really awesome things. I can't wait to show you at the aquarium.
Let's go.
Let's go. This is Sea Turtle Recovery.
Nice.
And this is an active sea turtle rehabilitation hospital here at the South Carolina Aquarium. All of the animals that are in here are patients in the hospital. They're all animals that are undergoing rehab and will hopefully be returned to the wild soon.
Nice. Now, the community gets to participate in this, I understand. So you have some turtles here that are actually local.
Absolutely. Well, we're the only hospital in the state of South Carolina. So we do get turtles from all over the state, including here in Charleston. We absolutely depend on our community to make sure these turtles get the care that they need. A lot of the turtles that are here were actually found by regular people like you and me on the beaches. You know, visitors, people from out of state, even locals visiting our beaches. Fishermen, definitely. They find a turtle that appears to be in distress on the beach or while they're out in the boat, and they can call the Department of Natural Resources, and then DNR will bring those turtles to us. So we absolutely need our community to know what's going on with sea turtles so that they can help us take care of them.
Yeah, I got to participate this morning at Sea Turtle Rescue at Folly Beach. And we got to see some of the little hatchlings take off. But I'll tell you, I understand there's a couple of turtles here that are from Folly Beach. Can we meet them?
Yes, definitely.
Let's do that.
So this is a little turtle named Goat, named after goat cheese. And Goat was found actually stranded right on Folly Beach, right here in Charleston. And he looks really cute and healthy right now. He still has a little bit of a long road to recovery, but if you compare it to how he looked and what kind of condition he was in when he first arrived, he's come a really long way.
Now, the touch tanks are very popular, obviously, but these are animals that most of the community would see right here at the beach. Is that correct?
Yeah, so these are all animals that are native to South Carolina. The sharks, which are these fish guys right here, these are a type of shark called the chain dogfish, and they live in really deep water, like 100 to 1,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
So they're not something you typically see on the beach. But the other two animals in here, the Atlantic stingray and our horseshoe crabs, they are found inshore, and you can even see them right off the beaches.
And we can touch these?
Yeah, you can touch anything you'd like with 2 fingers. The horseshoe crabs are kind of like little tanks that just bowl right over everybody in there.
Not only is this tank gorgeous, but it is massive. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, so this is one of Charleston's claims to fame. You're looking at the deepest saltwater tank in North America.
Nice.
Yeah, so in the back, we're beyond the coral reef here, it's about 42 feet deep.
Now, how many fish are in this today?
There's about 550 fish in there.
Holy cow, ranging from what kinds?
All different kinds, all native to South Carolina. And so we have small little ones like the Sergeant Major that you can see hanging out around the front, all the way up to our 9-foot nurse shark that like to hang out towards the bottom.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's a lot of animals in here that fishermen might also recognize because red drum, tarpon, snook, all of those are species that are popular.
At every restaurant here too.
And a lot of them too, yes.
Megan, thanks so much for having us here. I mean, this is just a wonderful place. I remember bringing my kids here when they were little. They're all grown up now, but it's just a great place to get out from. The heat is wonderful in here, and you've shown us so much. So thank you. How can the community get involved though?
Well, you're right in that this is a great place for the community to come and learn about the animals that we are sharing the state with and how we can actually take care of them too. And you're right, I bring my kids here all the time. I have little kids, and it's a great place for them to have fun, but also learn something.
Yeah, it is a memory maker here. It
Absolutely,
really is.
Yeah.
And wow, this place is amazing. I can't wait to show you more in the next episode. I'm Chris Facello, Selling Charleston. See you then.
Hi, I'm Celeste Shoemate, your host of American Dream TV. I'm also a native Charlestonian, and today I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about the history of this beautiful town that I call home. I'm here with Adam Moore, who is a good friend. He's also a tour guide. and we are at the Dock Street Theater, and I'm gonna let you take it over and talk a little bit about the historic significance of this building.
This is a great place if you ever come to Charleston to see a show, but the year was 1736. This is the location of the very first theater in colonial America or U.S. history. They had done theater in the colonies, but nobody had ever built a building specifically for theatrical performances until Dock Street Theater right here in 1736. But in 1809, this building was built as a hotel. So we're in the old hotel lobby, and as of 2023, they still do theatrical performances here.
I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about Charleston with you today. Let's go check it out.
Well, let's go.
So Charleston is a port city. We're one of the largest ports in the country. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the significance of our ports?
Charleston's historically been one of the largest port cities in the United States history from the beginning and to even now as far as volume of shipping. And so this thing about my tours is in Charleston, history's history. There's a very big stain on this city's history. This was unfortunately the #1 place in North America for importing an enslaved African. Not a great claim to fame, but it is factual about the city's history. And so during the West African slave trade, there were 400,000 humans taken from Africa and brought through the ports of North America for enslavement. Out of that 400,000, 40 to 45% came through this port right here. About 80% of African Americans, at least, can trace their heritage back to this port city. There's another thing that people don't realize, but bricks. Old bricks in Charleston were made on plantations, handmade by the enslaved. And in these bricks, when they're handmade, you can sometimes find old fingerprints of people who have handled these bricks. And this alley happens to have a lot of those fingerprints. If you look around and down, you'll see them all spread out throughout the alley. And it's a horrible part of the city's history, but it's very important to talk about so we can learn from. And it's the way we can honor it, because you can see these people's fingerprints. These are our fellow Americans, their ancestors that literally built this town and the country on their blood, sweat, and tears. Well, I wanted to bring you down to the Pink House since you're in real estate, and I think this is one of the oldest pieces of real estate in Charleston. It's one of the oldest structures in Charleston. It's called the Pink House. It was an all-black church at one point. It was built as a seafarer's tavern and brothel. And so when the pirates came to Charleston in 1718, this was a well-known tavern on the map. And yes, we have a huge pirate history here. Pirates and drinking go hand in hand, and so do Charleston.
We're here at Rainbow Row, which is a super cool spot. Adam, tell us a little bit about the history of Rainbow Row.
So Rainbow Row is one of the more photographed parts of Charleston, but it has a pretty interesting history. These buildings weren't originally painted these pretty colors. They date back, they were built between 1735, 1775, some of them a little later, but there's 13 houses, rainbow colors. What happened was the whole area down here was a slum at one point in the 1920s, but they weren't painted these pretty colors. And so there's a woman who came through, and I really owe a job to her. Her name's Susan Frost. She's actually the mother of preservation here in Charleston. She was a court stenographer, and her passion was in the early 1900s to take old homes, renovate them, and then sell them for real estate. This area was one of her bigger projects with the Preservation Society, and she was able to buy about 6 of them. Eventually got some money to fix them up, rehab them.
Thanks so much for joining me today on American Dream TV. I hope you've found some of the history that we've touched on to be useful and interesting. Charlie and I are gonna go enjoy this beautiful city, and we'll see you next time on American Dream TV.
Welcome to the American Dream. I'm your host, Amy Brandy. We are just 30 minutes from historic downtown Charleston and the birthplace of sweet tea, Summerville, South Carolina. Today we're exploring my favorite community, Nexton. And it's not just one of my favorites, it was just voted #1 master plan community in the nation. Come along with me today and find out why. We are in the Midtown neighborhood here in Nexton in the Info Cottage, joined by Alicia Smith, Marketing Coordinator of the Nexton community. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for coming.
Nexton has really become such a popular relocation destination for people all over the country. What is the draw that Nexton has that so many people are flocking here?
Yeah, so we are that master plan concept here at Nexton. We're building on about 5,000 acres of land, and we literally have everything. Like, you know, we're 10 years into building, you know, we've really brought our vision to life, and people can see that. And we've really, you know, we've held true to our promises, you know, from 10 years ago. We've got about another 10 years to go. So while we have so much here already, we're gonna be adding even more. Our location is key for Nexton. You know, with direct access to I-26, it's easy for people to get in and out, you know, wherever they need to go around town. But ideally, people really are attracted to Nexton because you don't really need to leave. You're gonna have everything here. I mean, there are resort-style amenities. There's walking and biking trails throughout. People have golf carts here. You know, I mean, they don't really have to get in their cars if they don't want to. You know, that's a huge draw. And then just the commercial that we're gonna have here, and that we already have, but also are continuing to bring, is just really next level. Again, you can do everything here. I mean, amazing restaurants, you know, grocery stores, schools, you know, tons of parks. And again, the trail system, you know, businesses. I tell people, you think about what you need on a day-to-day, and it's gonna be here.
Well, thank you so much for having us and walking us through this beautiful community. Really, we appreciate your time so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
I am here at the co-op, joined by Nikki, the manager here in Nexton. Thank you so much for having us. I absolutely just love the whole vibe here. Can you just tell us a little bit about the place? I understand you're relatively new to Nexton.
Yes. So we're new to Nexton. We did start off in Sullivan's Island, IOP, Kiowa. We have so many different other locations, still evolving as well. But here we do serve our breakfast. We're open from 7 to 8, and we do stay open later on the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're open till 9. We have our breakfast, we have our espresso, we have sandwiches, we have our frosé that everybody loves. We also have live music on Saturday nights, and trivia is going to be our Thursday nights. So we have different events going on here. We have our draft beer, non-alcoholic slushies for people who might not want to have an alcoholic beverage but still want to come out with their friends. We have a bunch of different things available for our customers.
Awesome, and I know you were talking so much about the frosé. I know that's one of your specialties.
Yes.
Are we gonna get a chance to try it today?
Yes, you can. I can get you a flight, or we have our 16 ounce, we have our wine bottles that you can do.
Wow.
So anything you want, I can get for you.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of The American Dream. I got my frosé to go, and I will see you on the next one.
Welcome to Selling Charleston and American Dream TV, a show centered on lifestyle, local culture, and real estate. I'm your host, John Frigola.
And I'm your co-host, Love Frigola, and today we're at the iconic Pitt Street Bridge here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. So John, tell me, when people usually think about Charleston, what do they think about?
Well, that's easy, water. Just look around, it's beautiful. We are blessed here in Charleston to be surrounded by beautiful beaches, rivers, and marshland areas. And boy, do we have a treat for you today. We're gonna put our feet in the mud and go pick some oysters. So Thomas, thanks for having us out today. It's a beautiful day. We're out on the Stono River, and we're in the beautiful oyster fields. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in this business?
I ended up going to school for marine science and coastal geology at Coastal Carolina, and just ended up starting the first oyster farm in Charleston.
Really? So you have the first one?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the field that we're in right now. These are wild oysters?
Yeah, so it's a oyster reef. Wild oysters tend to be a little bit more fragile. Here we go. You can kind of see it right through.
Okay.
You see how transparent that lip is?
Yep.
So that's the fresh growth right there.
Okay.
So these are kind of thin-shelled, but they kind of have strength in numbers.
I read somewhere that a single oyster can filter how many gallons of water?
40 to 50, depending on the size. And yeah, there's billions of them out here.
Wow.
So they're doing work.
It's a lot of water.
That's awesome.
So tell us a little bit about where we are and what we're looking at.
So we are in Green Creek, right off the Snow River, on our floating lease. At high tide, you'd actually be able to see the Atlantic Ocean. So we're very close to the inlet, which gives these oysters a really briny flavor. 310 floating cages.
So Thomas, I've heard, and I'm not sure if it's true, that you can only eat oysters in months that end in R. Is that right?
Partially right. So the wild oysters aren't harvested in the summertime because that's spawning season.
Okay.
And also the air temperatures at low tide, they can be baking in the sun.
Okay.
But with these floating cages, they keep us safe from the hot temperatures of the sun, so the oysters are ready to go year round.
We have some beautiful single oysters here, and we hear there's an interesting story behind the name. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so my sister-in-law, she's the queen of puns, and she came up with a pretty creative name. We call these the Perky Sea Cups. They're nice, shapely, deep cups, so but spelled with S-E-A, Perky Sea Cups.
Okay.
So, you know, get your head out of the gutter.
So coming from a local expert, can you show us how to shuck some of these babies?
Right up 12 o'clock, just kind of jiggle it and get it in there. You don't want to do too much prying just yet. You want to get the knife in there so the oyster's stuck on there.
Okay.
And you don't pry, you twist like you're turning a key.
Okay.
And you'll hear it pop.
There you go.
And then go across.
Okay.
To like 1 o'clock. Get your thumb on the top shell and then go under to cut the adductor muscle.
Beautiful.
There's a bunch of fatty, plump meat right there.
Looks delicious.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us that.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. So we had so much fun today. We really enjoyed being out on the water, exploring Charleston, and learning so much about oysters. So thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Whit. You guys kept us safe today, and we had a blast. We're your hosts, John and Love Frigola. See y'all next time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show, produced from America's finest city, but shot in the heart of your neighborhoods. Don't forget positive media when the world really needs it. Follow us on social media at The American Dream TV. See you next time. In the meantime, cheers to your American Dream. So The American Dream is a show about lifestyles, culture, neighborhoods, but also real estate. We find the best real estate teams all across the country.
Let's just talk quickly about the fact that this used to be a really seasonal community.